Hello everyone, this is Glenda Winkleman and welcome back to Creative Grandma. Easter's almost here and I was trying to think of something that would be really cute and adorable to make for the holidays, and everybody likes an Easter basket. Well, these little guys are the perfect size if you want to do just a little something for a coworker, a friend, you have nieces and nephews, you have people in a nursing home, somebody's in the hospital, you just want to do that little tiny, just let them know you're thinking of them. Well, this is the perfect little Easter basket to make for them. This is pattern number 528 and it's just called the bunny basket. This is a very easy pattern to make. It's just simple single crochet, a chain stitch, and a slip stitch. So I'm going to go over everything you need to know to make this little basket. Now the video is a little long and I do have to admit that towards the end of the video, when I was putting the eyes in, I did not know my camera quit working. I accidentally put a hole in my stitch and I really didn't have time to redo this video because Easter is only a couple weeks away. So please forgive that hole in my work. But this is the little guy. The blue guy is what we're going to be making in the video today. So I'm going to be right back and I'm going to tell you everything you need so you can gather it together to make this cute, adorable little Easter bunny. So for this project, I use Stitch Studio by Nicole in the Studio Basics. And this is just the smaller skeins. I believe these are 3.5 ounces. Yes, 3.5 ounce skeins. It's a worsted weight yarn. So you will need 1.75 ounce of whatever color you want the basket to be. Now I used white and I used pink for an accent and blue for an accent. So you need less than an ounce of the accent color. You can use whatever colors you want. You can use any worsted weight yarn. I just did pink and blue for a boy or a girl, but they would look beautiful in yellows and greens and orange, purples, any of the Easter colors. The rest of the items you're going to need is, you're going to need the container for inside the basket. Now this is a Quaker Grits container. It was the 20 ounce. It's the high cardboard container, and this measures about 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inches in diameter, and it's 3 1/2 inches high. Now if you find one a little wider, that's fine because it'll just make it fit tighter and nicer in the rabbit. So basically 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inches across in diameter by 3 1/2 inches high. You can use a plastic container or anything that kind of fits that size range you can use for the inside of your basket. You're going to need a set of the 9mm solid black, and these are the safety eyes. Do not use the eyes, I guess you call them the googly eyes that wiggle, unless you're giving them to an older person. If you're giving them to a small child, make sure you use the safety eyes where you cannot get the eyes out. They're extremely hard to get out. So, and it says not for children under 3 years of age on the recommended up here. So you can stitch the eyes on if you don't want to buy the eyes. So if you're giving it to a really small child, you might want to just use black yarn and just stitch the eyes on. It might be better. You're going to need 2 pipe cleaners. Now I have pink and blue because I made a pink rabbit and I made a blue rabbit. So you're going to need 2 full-size pipe cleaners of the color of your accent piece. You're going to need 2 pieces of ribbon, and I use the Offray ribbon, and it's the size 3/16 inches wide, and you need 2 pieces 16 inches long of whatever color you want to use for the ribbon. It doesn't have to match the accent color. You can use any color you would like. You're going to need a ribbon flower. Now these are also by Offray ribbon, and I purchased these at Joann Fabrics, and these were a set of 6 in the package, and they're a little bit bigger than the flower I used on the blue bunny in the video. So the nicer size ribbon flowers are the nicer ones to use. Now these are about 3/4 to 1 inches across, and that's a really good size I'm just going to pull the bunny up here. His flower was a little too small. See how big this flower is? It would look a lot nicer. So get the little bit larger flower if you can find them. You're also going to need a size H8 crochet hook or a 5mm hook. And you're also going to need a yarn needle for weaving in those ends. So that is what you need to make this little rabbit basket. So before we jump in and get started making this little basket, I did want to let everybody know I was able to put a very limited amount of these kits together if you wanted to make a basket but you didn't want to go to the store and try to find everything. The kit includes your white yarn for the basket, and you can choose either pink or blue for the accent color. So the pink kit will be white yarn with the pink accent yarn. The blue kit will be white yarn for the basket and blue for the accent color. You will get your safety eyes, you will get your ribbon, you will get your pipe cleaner, and you will get the center flower for your rabbit basket. So you will have to provide the yarn needle, the container for inside the basket, and your own crochet hook. But these kits are available if you wanted to try to get one made before Easter. So check out the website, creativegrandma.net. Click on Kits and More at the top of the screen and it'll take you right to the kits. So let's get started on this basket. I have my yarn tied around my hook, and you want to make sure that you do it loose because we're going to have to put 12 double crochet into this first chain that we're going to have on our hook. So to start this pattern we need to chain 4. Again, my yarn is already tied around my hook, so yarn over the hook, pull it through that loop that you had tied on your hook, which creates your first chain. This does not count as a chain, so we need a total of 4 chains. That's 1, yarn over the hook, pull it through, that's 2, yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop, that's 3, yarn over the hook and pull it through the loop, that's 4. We're going to come down and we're going to work 12 double crochet into the first chain that you made. So yarn over the hook, you're going to skip those 3 chain and come down into that 4th chain from hook and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops only, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. That's how you make a double crochet. So your chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet, and then this counts as the next. So we still have to make 11 more double crochet into that same chain. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that chain and work a double crochet. That's 2, yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work a double crochet. That's 3. So go ahead and continue working until you have a total of 12 double crochet plus your chain 3, which is a combined total of 13 double crochet. So I will meet you at the end of round 1. I'm at the end of round 1 and you should have a total of 12 double crochet and your beginning chain 3. But with this pattern we're not joining our round. We're just going to mark the first stitch of each round. So to start round 2, you're just going to go right into the top of that beginning chain 3. You're going to insert your hook into the top of that chain 3 and you're going to work a single crochet. So insert your hook into the top of that chain 3, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. You just made your first single crochet. You're going to insert your hook into that same stitch that you just worked the single crochet, and you're going to work a second single crochet. Yarn over the hook and pull it through that stitch, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. You just made your first 2 single crochet of round 2. So I'm going to pull my hook out and I'm going to put a stitch marker. I just use a small piece of yarn you can use a stitch marker. I just like the yarn because I can just pull it up with each round. So I'm just marking. You want to mark the first stitch of each round. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to work 2 single crochet in each double crochet around. So insert your hook into that next stitch under both loops and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into that same double crochet stitch and work your second single crochet. Insert your hook into that next double crochet and work 2 single crochet. There's 1. Insert into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. So that's all there is to round 2. Go ahead and work 2 single crochet in each double crochet around until you get to your stitch marker, and I'll be back to start round 3. I'm over at the end of round 2, and you should have a total of 26 single crochet around. And this is what your work should look like. So to start round 3, this is going to be the start of a repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 single crochet, and then we're going to work 2 single crochet into the 4 single crochet. So that will be our repeat around, and we're going to work the repeat around to within the last 2 single crochet. So here's the start of our repeat. We're going to insert our hook into that beginning stitch that's marked, and we're going to work a single crochet. That's 1. You're going to move your stitch marker up into that stitch. You're going to insert your hook into the next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert your hook into the next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 3. We're now going to work 2 single crochet into this next single crochet. So insert your hook into that next stitch and work your first single crochet. Insert your hook into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. I'll show you one more time. Insert your hook into the next stitch. This is the start of our repeat, and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert your hook into that next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert your hook into that next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert your hook into the next single crochet and work 2 single crochet. So there's 1. Insert into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. So that's your repeat. Go ahead and repeat that around, and stop when you get to the last 2 stitches before your stitch marker, and I'll meet you there and show you how to finish round 3. I'm over to the last 2 stitches of round 3, and all we're going to do is just single crochet in each one of those last 2 stitches. So insert your hook into that next stitch and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Round 3 is complete, and if you count your stitches around, you should have a total of 32 single crochet around your work, and this is what it should look like. So for round 4 is an easy round. All we're going to do is work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So let's insert our hook into that beginning stitch where your stitch marker is and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next single crochet and work a single crochet. I'm going to take my hook out and I'm going to come back to that first single crochet I made, and I'm going to pull my yarn through and mark that stitch. So at this point, move that stitch marker up so you can keep track of where your row began. It's very important when you're working in the rounds to make sure you keep moving that stitch marker up so you know where the beginning of your round starts. So just go ahead and work one single crochet in each stitch around until you get to your stitch marker, and I will meet you there at the end of round 4. I'm over at the end of round 4, and you should have a total of 32 single crochet, and that's the same total you had for the last round because we did not increase and we did not decrease. So a total of 32 single crochet. So to start round 5, we have a simple repeat. We're going to single crochet, one single crochet in each of the next 3 single crochet, and then we're going to work 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So let's go ahead and get started. Our repeat starts here. Insert your hook into that beginning stitch where your stitch marker is and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. I'm going to take my hook out and I'm going to grab my stitch marker and I'm going to pull it through that first single crochet of the round we made. Very important. Please make sure you do that right away. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert your hook into the next stitch and you're going to work 2 single crochet. There's 1. Insert your hook into that same stitch and work a second single crochet. That's the end of the repeat. I'll show you one more time. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert your hook into the next stitch and you're going to work 2 single crochet. There's 1. Insert your hook into that same stitch and work a second single crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and repeat that around and I will meet you at the end of round 5. I'm over at the end of round 5, and your last repeat should have ended right in the last stitch, and then there's your beginning stitch with your stitch marker. So you should have a total of 40 single crochet around your work at the end of round 5. So now for rounds 6 through 10, all we're going to do is work 1 single crochet in each single crochet around for a total of 5 more rounds. So insert your hook. This is how you'll do the next 5 rounds. You're going to insert your hook into that beginning stitch where your stitch marker is and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Go back and move that stitch marker up into that first single crochet you made of round 6. And then you're just going to continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the end of round 6, you start the round again. Keep moving your stitch marker up, and you're going to work 5 rounds of single crochet of 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I will meet you at the end of round 10, and if you're new to crocheting, if you look at this work and you lose track, if you're not marking, it's good to just use a pen and paper. Just, you know, like make a straight line down every time you do a round to keep track. Or if you look, this is round 1, and you can see these little ridges in between the rounds. So that's round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if that helps you count if you lose track. So go ahead and work those single crochet rounds. I will meet you at the end of round 10. I'm over at the end of round 10, and if you look at your work, it kind of looks like a little hat. But when we put our container in it and you flatten it down, it'll flatten out more on the bottom and look more like a canister. So this will look like a little hat for right now. And again, if you're not sure how to count your rounds, just go back and kind of look. You can see these ridges here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So to start round 11, we're going to do a repeat. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 single crochet, and then we're going to work 2 single crochet into the 10th stitch. So insert your hook into that beginning stitch where your stitch marker is and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. I'm going to come back and pull my stitch marker through that first single crochet of the round that I made. And I'm going to continue with my repeat. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert your hook into the next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 4. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 5. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of lost my train of thought there. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 7. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. That's 8. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet, and that's 9. I'm going to double check. I keep losing my train of thought for some reason. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And we need to work 2 single crochet into this next stitch. Insert your hook into that next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1. You're going to insert your hook into that same stitch and work a single crochet, and that's 2. So that's your repeat. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches, and then work 2 single crochet into your 10th stitch and repeat that around. I will meet you at the end of round 11. I'm over at the end of round 11, and this is what our work should look like. You should have a total of 44 single crochet in round 11. So now for rounds 12 through 22, we're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and we're going to do that for a total of 11 more rounds. So it's just a basic 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You're going to start each round by inserting your hook into that beginning stitch where your stitch marker is and working a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. You're going to come back and you're going to go into that first single crochet that you made of the round, and you're going to move your stitch marker up to that first stitch in each round that you start, and then you're just going to continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and each round will have a total of 44 single crochet. So go ahead and work 11 more rounds with 1 single crochet in each single crochet around, and I will meet you at the end of round 22. I'm over at the end of round 22, and this is what it should look like. It looks like a little canister or a little basket or a cup holder, but that's what it should look like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to put our final trim round of our border on. So we're going to go over into our first stitch where your stitch marker is, and you're just going to slip stitch into that stitch. So insert your hook into that beginning stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. We just slip stitched into that beginning stitch, and we're getting ready to put round 23 on, and this is our little edging stitch. So the edging stitch is very simple. We're going to chain one, and this is the start of the repeat. Chain one, insert your hook into the next stitch and slip stitch. Insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain one. You're going to insert your hook into the next stitch and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. And that's all there is to the repeat. I'll do it a couple more times so you can see the little edging. Chain one, insert into the next stitch and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Chain one. Slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain one. Slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain one. Slip stitch into the next stitch. And that's all there is to your border. You're going to continue that around. It puts just a nice little decorative edging on that edge of that round. So your beginning stitch is here. Go ahead and work all the way around to that last stitch of the round, and I will meet you there. I'm over at the end of round 23, and you can see our little edging going around the top of our little basket. So now to finish, you just worked your last slip stitch into the last stitch. So we're going to chain one. We're going to insert our hook into that same beginning stitch of the round and slip stitch. You're going to go into the next stitch and you're going to slip stitch. And I'm going to fasten off my work. And I'm just going to weave in these ends later. So our little basket is finished at this point. So we're just going to set this aside, and then we're going to get ready to do our ears. So whatever color you want for your accent color, whether it be pink, blue, yellow, green, purple, whatever color you want, we start with the inside of the ear. So go ahead and grab your accent color, and I'll be right back to get the ears started. So I'm getting ready to start the ears. So to start the ears, we're going to start and we're going to work a chain, 6 chains. So I already attached my yarn. So yarn over, pull it through that loop. That's your first chain. And we need to do 5 more. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So to start row 1, we're going to skip this first chain. We're going to insert our hook into that second chain from hook, and we're going to work a single crochet. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain, yarn over the hook, and pull it through 2 loops. You just worked your first single crochet. You're going to go into the next chain and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next chain and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next chain and work a single crochet. We're over to our last chain. Insert your hook and work a single crochet into that last chain. You should have a total of 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. So for rows 2 through 9, they will be all done in the same manner. You chained 1 and you turned your work. You're going to skip that beginning chain 1 space. You're going to insert your hook into that first single crochet and you're going to work a single crochet. You're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch across. There's 2, insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert into the next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 4. And you're going to insert into that last single crochet. And for the new crocheters, make sure you look for this bar. It's that stitch that runs up like a little rainbow. That's your ending bar, which tells you this is your last stitch. So insert into that last stitch and work a single crochet. You should have a total of 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for rows 3 through 9, you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work, you're going to skip this beginning chain 1 space, and you're going to work 1 single crochet in each single crochet across. You'll have a total of 5 single crochet per row. So go ahead and work rows 3 through 9, and I will meet you at the end of row 9. I'm at the end of row 9, and this is what your piece should look like. You should have 5 single crochet across by 9 rows down. So for row 10, we're getting ready to decrease to form the points of our ears. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. We're going to skip this chain 1 space and we're going to go directly into that first single crochet and work a single crochet. We are going to single crochet 3 together. So we're going to insert our hook into that next single crochet, yarn over the hook and pull it through the stitch, leaving the loop on your hook. So we now have 2 loops on our hook. Insert your hook into that next single crochet, yarn over the hook and pull it through that stitch. We now have 3 loops on our hook and we're keeping all loops on the hook. Insert your hook into that next single crochet, yarn over the hook and pull it through the stitch. We have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through all 4 loops. We just single crocheted 3 together. We're going to jump over to our last single crochet stitch here. Look for those double bars. Insert your hook under both strands and work a single crochet into that last stitch. You now have a total of 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3 across. So now for row 11, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to work 1 single crochet in each single crochet across. So skip that beginning chain 1, insert your hook into that first single crochet and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into that next stitch, and if you're not sure by looking here, just flip your work over, look for those double strands, that's your stitch, and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into that last stitch under the double strands and work a single crochet. You have 3 single crochet across. So for row 12, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. Now we're going to single crochet 3 together. So you're going to skip this chain 1 space. You're going to insert your hook into that first single crochet, yarn over the hook and pull it through the stitch. You have 2 loops on your hook and we're keeping all the loops on the hook. Insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch. We have 3 loops on the hook and we're keeping them all on the hook. Insert your hook into that last stitch, yarn over the hook and pull it through the stitch. We have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over the hook and pull it through all 4 loops on the hook, and you just did single crochet 3 together, which takes you down to 1 single crochet on top of your ear. So that's it for the center of the ear. I'm going to fasten off. I'm going to go ahead and make this one more time because we need a total of 2 ears. So go ahead and click this back on the beginning of where we started our ear. Make a second ear, and then I'll come back and we'll put the border around our ears. I have my 2 ears made. So I'm getting ready to put the border on our ear. So this is where we fastened off at the top, and we're just going to turn our ear upside down. And this is the bottom of our foundation chain. If you look, you'll see you have 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to insert our hook into that first chain on the bottom of the foundation row, and we're just going to pull our new color through. I leave about 2 to 3 inches, and I just pull that new color through. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each of the 5 chain across the bottom. So insert your hook into that first chain and work your single crochet right over top of that snibbling of yarn that you have as the end, and it helps weave it in. And work a single crochet. Insert into that next chain and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into that next chain and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert into that next chain and work a single crochet. That's 4. And this piece of yarn here where we started our chain, I just lay that against my work and work over top that as well. Insert into that last chain and work a single crochet. We're going to chain 1 for the corner. You're going to turn your work, and we're going to work 1 single crochet in each row end stitch down the length. And this can be intimidating for the first time crocheter, so all you have to do is just pull that apart, stretch it. You can see all these little holes. This is your row end stitch. This is your next one, your next one, your next one. So you're just going to find that hole, and that's the one you're going to work in. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in each row end stitch down our ear to the top. You should have a total of 12 single crochet running down your length of your ear when you're finished. So insert your hook into that first row end stitch and work a single crochet. If you're not sure, pull it apart until you see that next hole. Insert your hook in that next row end stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into the next row end stitch and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert into the next row end stitch. That's 4. You're working 1 single crochet in each row end stitch. That's 5. Insert into the next one. Work a single crochet. That's 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And you get down to your last single crochet stitch, and we're going right into the side or top. It doesn't matter, it all blends in. We're just going right into that stitch and work a single crochet for our 12th single crochet down our length. And you can see how that just makes a really nice edging on your ear. So we're at the top of our ear, and this is where we did the 3 single crochet together. So now we're going to work a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the top of the stitch at the ear. Insert your hook into that same stitch, that same space, and work a single crochet. You're going to chain 2. Insert your hook into that same space and work a single crochet. Oops. Now I have the yarn from where I fastened off, and I'm just going to work over that as I do my stitches. So we're getting ready to work down the length, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work one single crochet in each row end stitch down the length, and if you have to, just pull that apart and look for these openings for the stitches. So we're going to start by going right into, oh, my fingers are all fumbly. Okay, to work the first stitch, you're going to go right into the same stitch and work a single crochet. Right, the same stitch that you just worked all the others, that will count as the first row end stitch. Then you're going to come down underneath this, because this is a pretty big stitch here where we crocheted those three together. You're just going to come down to the base of that stitch and go right into that space where that hole is and work a single crochet. Find your next row end stitch and work a single crochet. And just continue working down the length until we get to the next corner. Find your next row end stitch and work a single crochet. And like I said, I'm working over the ends of my fastened off piece, just this snibbling. You can just stop at any point and just trim that. So let me count my stitches. That was my top stitch. This is our first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, and we're down to our last row. That's 12, and we're going to end our round with a chain 1. Insert your hook into the top of that beginning single crochet of the round and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that single crochet and pull it through the loop on your hook, and we're just going to fasten off and get ready to do our last and final round of the ear. So I'm going to grab my white as my trim color, and we'll get our round 2 border put on our ear. I'll be right back. So we're getting ready to put our last round on our ears. This is the decorative edging round. So we're going to go where we fastened off, so our ear will be upside down. So you're just going to insert your hook into that same beginning single crochet that you fastened off in. We're just going to pull our new color through. Again, I leave about 2 to 3 inches. I just fold it. I'll take both strands, the one I fastened off and the new one. I hold it right up against my work, and I'll pull that new color through, and I'll chain 1. We're going to go back into that same beginning single crochet, and we're going to work a single crochet. Now I'm working right over top and around these strands, which helps weave them in. So there's 1. We're going to insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. We're going to insert into the next single crochet and work a single crochet. That's 3. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 4. Insert into that next single crochet and work a single crochet, and that's 5. So we just worked 1 single crochet in each stitch across the bottom of our ear. And now we're going to start the little fancy edging. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to slip stitch in this corner chain 1 space. It's hard to see because it's only 1 chain. So insert your hook in that chain 1 space, and we're going to slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that space, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Now I'm just going to trim my ends off here so they're out of the way. So I just trim those edges off. And now we're just going to continue around. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to slip stitch into that next single crochet, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through that loop on your hook. And we need to do that 13 times. So we're going to do it in every single crochet down the ear until you get to the top of that chain 2 space. So let me show you just 1 or 2 more times. You're going to chain 1. You're going to insert your hook into that next stitch, and we're going to slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 1. Insert your hook into that next stitch, and make sure when you're working this, it kind of pulls back, and there's a lot of room here, so make sure you're not going into that same stitch. Make sure you're jumping ahead to that next stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 1, insert into the next stitch, and slip stitch. So go ahead and work that down your length. When you get to the corner chain 2 space, stop, and I'll meet you there. I worked down my length, and this is what your work should look like. So now we're at the top of our ear where the corner or the top of that chain 2 space is. I'm going to try to pull it apart so you can see it better. Right here on top of your ear. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, insert it into that chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it through the space, and pull it through the loop on your hook. You just slip stitched. We're going to do that again into that same chain 2 space. You're going to chain 1. You're going to insert your hook back into that top of that chain 2 space and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain 2 space, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Now we're going to chain 1, and you're going to insert your hook into that first single crochet down the length, and you're going to work a slip stitch. You're going to chain 1. You're going to insert your hook into that next stitch and work a slip stitch. So you're just going to continue in the same manner down this side that you did up that side. So chain 1, slip stitch in the next stitch, chain 1, slip stitch in the next stitch. Continue down until you get to the corner chain 1 space, and I'll meet you there. I worked around my ear, and now I'm down to the corner chain 1 space. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to insert our hook into that chain 1 space. So insert your hook in the chain 1 space and work a slip stitch. And to end our round and to join our work, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to come over and we're going to slip stitch in the same spot as this beginning single crochet. And then we're going to come up and slip stitch into the top of that beginning single crochet of the round. And we're going to fasten off, but when you fasten off, leave about 6 to 8 inches for sewing. So we need to sew this onto our basket, so just leave a nice sewing length and just fasten off. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish my second ear, and I'll be back and we'll start our handle. I got my 2 ears done, so I'm just going to set these aside. And I did forget to mention, if you don't remember how I do this, just click back on the video and you can just follow me again for your second ear. So now for the handle, we're going to use our accent color. So whatever color you used for the inside of your ear, that's the color you're going to use for your handle. I mean, you don't have to. You can use white, but I use the accent color in mine, so that's how I'm going to do the video. So I'm just going to put these aside. And for the handle, I already attached my yarn to my hook, and we need to chain 3. So yarn over the hook, pull it through, that's 1. Yarn over the hook, pull it through, that's 2. Yarn over the hook and pull it through the loop, that's 3 chains on your hook. So to work the first row, all we're going to do is work single crochet for our handle. We're going to skip this first chain, We're going to insert our hook into that second chain from hook, and we're going to work a single crochet. You're going to insert your hook into that next chain, which is the last chain, and work a single crochet. You have 2 single crochet in your row. So now for the rest of the handle, all you're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, you're going to skip that beginning chain 1 space, you're going to insert into that first single crochet, and you're going to work a single crochet. You're going to insert your hook into that next single crochet, which is the last single crochet, and you're going to work a single crochet. So that's all there is to the handle. You need to make a total of 35 rows. So just repeat row 2. You're going to chain 1, single crochet in each of the single crochet. You will have 2 single crochet per row. Repeat that until you have a total of 35 rows, and I'll be back when I get my 35 rows made. I'm over at the end of row 35, and this is what your piece should look like. So we're just going to go and start our border immediately. You just, at the end of row 35, you just keep your hook and your work in place, and you chain 1. We're just going to turn our work and work down the side. Do not turn it to the other side. We're just going to turn it and work down the length. So we already chained 1. You're going to insert your hook into that first row end stitch, and you're going to slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. So when you're looking for your row end stitches, you can pull it apart and you can see these holes. That's where we're going to be working into, these holes. You're going to chain 1. You're going to slip stitch into the next row end stitch, insert your hook into that next row end stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 1. Insert your hook into the next row end stitch and slip stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. So just continue in that manner down to the corner, chain 1, insert into the next row end stitch, and slip stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. So repeat that down your length, and when you get to the corner and work into that last stitch, I'll meet you there. I just worked down my length, and you can see how it put that nice little edging on our handle. So now I'm just going to work across the bottom of our foundation row, and I'll be working right over my little end. So you just worked in the last row, you slip stitched in that last row end stitch. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to go right into that first chain of your foundation chain, and you're going to slip stitch. You're going to chain 1. You're going to go into that second chain of that foundation chain, and you're going to slip stitch. So you just worked across the bottom of your foundation row, and now we're going to start by working in the row end stitch of each row down the length again. So you're going to chain 1. You're going to insert into that first row end stitch, and you're going to slip stitch. You're going to chain 1. You're going to find your next row end stitch, just look for that hole, insert it in that space, and work a slip stitch. Chain 1. Find your next row end stitch, and slip stitch. And you're just going to continue chaining 1. Find your next row end stitch and slip stitch. So go ahead and work that down to the corner, to the end of your handle, and I will meet you in that last row end stitch. I'm over at the end of my other side, and this is what your handle should look like so far. And when you do your last stitch, you are doing it into the side of that last single crochet which goes across the top. So it's actually worked in the side of that stitch. So now to finish our round, we're going to chain 1. We're going to insert our hook in that first single crochet at the top of our work and work a slip stitch. Okay, I'm getting caught. Chain 1, insert into that second single crochet and slip stitch. So we just worked in our last single crochet across. So we're going to chain 1, we're going to come over and insert our hook into this same, well, if you look, this is where we slip stitch, so insert into that same spot and just work a slip stitch. You're going to come over to this next stitch, you're going to go under those 2 strands of yarn and you're going to slip stitch. It's a little tight, and that's how you finish your round. And I'm just going to fasten off, and again, leave a sewing length to sew this end of the handle. So I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my pipe cleaners and show you how I weave them in through my handle to make that more sturdy. So I'll be right back. Okay, so all our crocheting is done. Now it's just a matter of putting our bunny together. So I have these pipe cleaners. This is a full-size pipe cleaner. Let me zoom out a little. This is a full-size pipe cleaner. I'm not cutting it. We're going to need the whole thing. Now, it is tricky on how to weave this through because this likes to kink. So what I do is I just grab my piece, and if you pull this apart, you'll see holes up here and holes on the bottom. So we're going to be weaving through just this top holes here. So I'm going to insert it into that first hole, and these pipe cleaners, that edge is really kind of like snaggy. It'll snag. So we're just going to go up and down through our handle. And the best thing I can suggest is to move the handle because the pipe cleaner will want to bend, and you're just going to weave it up and down through those holes, trying to keep that pipe cleaner as straight as you can. And like I said, that has that sharp edge, so it wants a snag. So weave this up. Now when you're weaving this pipe cleaner is not long enough for the whole handle, but that's okay. We're going to weave it in, and then we're going to adjust it so there's about 1 inch from the end, and then we'll weave the other one in, and then we're going to twist it on the back side to hold it in place, and I'll show you all that. So go ahead and insert your pipe cleaner, do the top one, and then when you're done with that, you're just going to come in here through the bottom and come in that hole, and you're going to weave a second pipe cleaner in and out of those holes on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and weave mine in. I'm going to do both of them, and when I'm done, I'll come back and show you how to secure it. Okay, I have my pipe cleaners weaved in and out, and you can see that they're down to here, and this one I pulled out, so I want about 1 inch on the end that doesn't have the pipe cleaners in it. So you can just like move this around until you like maneuver it around. So on the back side, we're going to have our pipe cleaners like so. All we're going to do is we're just going to twist these, and that secures the pipe cleaner so it doesn't come out. And then I'm just going to trim my end. Now make sure you use old scissors for this. Don't use your good scissors for trimming, because that has that kind of wire in it. I'm going to go down to my other end, and I'm going to just pull these out, just remaneuver them, pull them out so you have about 1 inch on the bottom, because we want to have it, we're going to sew this to our basket, so we want that kind of flat. So then just twist your other ends just like you did the other side. Twist them and then trim. Okay, so then there's your handle. And you can shape it better once you get it on your basket. You can go ahead and bend that up and shape it into a handle. It just helps if you're going to fill these with candy and stuff, and like you can make these are wonderful for a nursing home to take a little basket of goodies into them. It just makes it a lot sturdier to hold that if it has any weight to it. So I'll be right back and we'll sew our handle onto our basket. I'm back. When I did the video, I think I said to leave a sewing length when you fasten off. Well, for this handle, we're actually using the white, the color of the basket. So whatever color you made the basket is the color you need to sew your handle on, because this will be on the inside. So I just got a yarn needle. I'm just going to go ahead and weave my end in on the back, because we need to use the same color as the basket, not the color of the handle. So that was my mistake. So go ahead and weave that end in through the back, clip it off. I'm going to grab my white yarn, grab my basket, and I'll be right back. So I have my basket, and what I do is when I make something like this, wherever I fastened off, I leave that there on purpose because I always like that in the back. So I'm going to put my face on the front of it. So where you fastened off, turn that to the center of the back. So place your basket like so. Keep your back of your basket to the center back. And then you're going to take your handle and you're going to stick it inside the basket. And you're going to line that up. You're just going to make sure it's even on both sides, and where you fastened off your basket is in the center of the back. Your handles will go like this, so that 1 inch where there's no wire, you just line that up with the center. You take your yarn needle with white yarn, and the reason we use white is because when you come through here and sew this handle on, you're not going to see the yarn. And I just pull it through, go through a couple stitches, I come back through, and then I tie this. I secure this with a knot, and then I'll weave this in later. I'll weave all these ends in later, so I just tie that. So what you're going to do is you're just going to fold this down inside, and you're going to sew it in and out around your basket, and you're just going to, where's my, okay. You're just going to come in and out and try to go with your stitches in the same, like if you look here, when I bring my yarn out, my stitches are going down. I just try to insert it right back in there, and it kind of blends right in with your stitches, and it kind of makes an invisible seam. So let me grab my other basket. If you look on this basket, you can see, you can't even see where it was sewed. It just blends in really easy. So go ahead and sew around your handle of the end of the basket inside. Make sure it's nice and secure. Turn your basket and sew the handle to the opposite side. So you're just going to sew this end inside. When that's secure, you're just going to angle it up and sew the other side to the other side of the basket. So go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back and show you how to do the next step. I just got my handles sewed onto my basket, and you can see if you use the white thread and you follow your stitches, it's almost invisible sewing. So that's what your work should look like. The other side should look the same. So with your end where you fastened off your basket to the back, we're going to turn our basket and we're going to get ready to sew our ears on. So I'm going to grab my ears and I'll be right back. I have my first ear and I have my little basket. It's flattened out. So what we're going to do with our ear is we're going to have the right side facing. You're going to take the bottom of your ear and you're going to fold it over so the corners of the bottom are touching. So you're just going to fold it over like so in order to create that 3D look. So you're going to take the yarn needle, you thread your leftover piece, your sewing length that you had, and you're just going to stitch 2 stitches together. You're going to go in through the bottom and you're just going to pull this together just in the first 2 stitches up from the bottom. And you're just going to do straight stitches just so that curves and forms that little dip in there. It just gives a nice look to the ear. So you're going to repeat this to both ears. And then what you're going to do is, like we did on this rabbit, you're just going to come up and you're going to sew the base of your ear right to the center front of that basket between the handle. So here's your basket. We have the handle. You're going to center your ears like so. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to sew this ear and you're just going to bring them up and you're going to sew them in the top row, the top first 2 rows, and just attach them to the top of your basket like so. That don't look very good the way I'm holding it. So sew up 2 stitches to form that 3D look, and then center them into the center of your handle. So your handle's like this, like a rainbow. Center them and sew these ends to the first 2 rows. And it doesn't really matter if you're sloppy, because what you're going to do is you're going to cover that up with some ribbon and a flower. So go ahead and sew them, attach them to your basket. I'm going to sew mine on and I'll be right back. So I sewed my ears on and it looks a little bulky, but that's how it looks. And again, we're going to cover that up with some ribbon and a bow. So now it's time to put our eyes in, and I'm using just plain black safety eyes with the safety back, and we will be cutting some of this off, so make sure you're using really old scissors. So this is what size you're using. We're using the 0.35 inch or 9 millimeter. So I'm back, and due to technical difficulties, which sometimes happens when you're videotaping, I taped putting the eyes in and I realized my camera card was full, and I already put the safety back on my eyes, and I tried to cut the eyes off of my bunny basket and I accidentally cut into my stitch and put a hole in it. So for this video, I'm just going to pretend that hole's not there. I'm going to place my eye back in that hole because I didn't want to have to remake the whole basket at this point. So please forgive this error. So what you're going to do is you're going to center the eyes in between the ears, and you go down about 7 rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So between the 6th and 7th round, I'm going to place my eye and I'm going to attach my back. Now, what I showed you in the other video is I placed my eye there and then I counted about 4 holes. So if you count over 1, 2, 3, 4, then go ahead and place your eye in that 5th hole and then look at it. Does it look good? Does it look centered? Okay, I'm in the wrong row. See what happens when you have to do stuff twice. I'm going to go ahead and attach those eyes and I'll be right back. I've attached my eyes, and please forgive this one. This little bunny is not going to look as good as my first because I really messed this up. So this one I pushed in a little too tight. This one I just accidentally cut those stitches. So anyhow, on the back you're going to see that you have these really long ends. So what you're going to need is make sure you're using old scissors. Come down so you have at least 1 clip there, and then you're going to cut that off. And like I said, make sure you use old scissors because they're hard to cut, and just cut them down to that size. So I'm going to cut the other one and I'll be right back to show you how to put the nose and mouth on. I'm back and I'm getting ready to put the nose, the mouth, and the little smile on. So what you're going to do is you're going to just drop down right in the center of the eyes and come down about 2 rounds. And I'm going to just go about the 3 stitches in the center. So 1, 2, 3, I need to come over 1. So we're going to come over to that third stitch in between the eyes, and you can see it, 1, 2, 3. So you're going to bring your yarn out through that third stitch. I hope that was just in the camera. And you're going to come down about 2 rounds, and you're going to angle it to the center stitch. So you're going to go 1, 2 rows down and angle it right in that middle stitch. And you're just going to do straight stitches. You're just going to come back through where you were, and sometimes it's nice to do this twice. You're just going to pull that snug, and you're just going to do that twice. You're going to come over to this third stitch here, bring your needle from the inside out to the front, and you're going right back into that stitch where you just made it at the bottom. And what you're doing is you're creating a V for your nose. So that just come back out that same hole, and then go back in the same hole at the bottom. And you're just going to keep doing this, and you're just going to work it across until that's all filled in nice and solid as a nice little solid nose. And like I said, I do each stitch twice just to make it darker, heavier, and fill it in. And just keep working your stitches until you get your nose filled in across those 3 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my nose, and I'll be back and show you how to form the mouth. Okay, so I'm showing you how to put the face on our little bunny, but my camera is acting up and it keeps stopping in the middle of what I'm doing. So I'm not going to rip this out. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to explain it to you. I'm not sure where the camera quit working, but I did my little nose, and then we did double stitching, and we just come down from the center of the nose to 1 stitch, did it again. Now we're going to start the smile. So what I'm doing here is I'm just doing straight stitches. I'm going sideways now to start forming the upper part of this mouth here. So you can put whatever kind of face you want on it. I'm just trying to show you how I do it. I work from the inside of the basket, and then I come out to the front, and every stitch I do it twice. I do it right over top, and make sure that you're not going through the back of your basket when you're doing this, or you're going to be sewing your basket together. Okay, I'm down towards the end, and I want to make the little part of my smile. So I'm going to go ahead and angle my stitch clear up here to try to give it that angled look to my smile. And then I go right back down into the last stitch I made. I'm going to do that twice again. I'm trying to make this a little darker. I'm sorry the end of this video is so messed up. This is a brand new camcorder, and it's just, well, I don't want to say it's just not the quality that I need for doing my videos. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here in this stitch, and then I'm just coming down. And that's going to finish this half of my smile. And what I did on this side, I'm just going to go over and repeat on the other side. So let me go ahead and do the other side of my little rabbit's face. All I'm going to do is jump over here and then just do this on this side, and I'll be right back. So I have my little bunny's face embroidered onto his face. This looks a little off because it's not in the container yet. It's just kind of awkward because it's flat and curved. So that's this little face. You just end it with a knot on the back and weave in your ends. So now I'm going to grab some ribbon and a flower, and we're going to just decorate here and hide some of this where we sewed the ears on, and attach this little decorative item, and then you're all ready to stick your little basket in. So I'll be right back. So I'm getting ready to make my ribbon for the bunny right here under his ears. So I just have 2 pieces of dark blue ribbon, and this ribbon is 3/16 of an inch wide, kind of the perfect size width for this project. So 2 pieces about 16 inches long. You're just going to lay them right on top of each other, and you're just going to tie a bow just like you're tying your shoes. We need to come over to the right side a little bit more, or the left if you're left-handed. and just tie that bow using both strands of the ribbon. Once you tie it, you can adjust it and pull that through. I'm going to tighten this one up. You want it to kind of be the same on both sides. That looks about right. And then you're just going to pull it tight. Now, the reason I use 16 inches long is because I rather have it too long and go back and trim it. So it's longer on this side. So all I do is I just pull it down and I'll snip it. And I snip it from the bottom to the top to give it that edge, and then I'll look at it again, just make sure it's nice. This side needs trimmed a little, so I'll just go ahead and trim that. So that looks pretty good. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring my bunny down here. I have my little hot glue gun. I'm going to glue on the back of my ribbon here. And then I'm just going to press it right on the base of those ears. Just like that. Just press that right down there. Right onto your ears. And if you don't like it, you have to move it around while it's hot. Once it cools down, you won't be able to move it. And then what I like to do is I like to kind of pull my bows out so you see two bows and not just one, so it makes a double bow. And then I don't have the big flower like I do on the pink one. All I have is this little blue one. So I'm just going to hot glue my little blue flower right to the center of the ribbon. So I just take my glue gun, dab a little glue right there in the center, and then I bring my flower in and I just attach it right to the center of that ribbon, and then I press down and hold it just for a few seconds just to make sure that glue adheres to both the ribbon and the little rose. And then that is what it looks like underneath. Just a nice little decorative accent. So now I have my container. This is just a cardboard container from a Quaker, well, oatmeal or grits container. And I think I give the measurements at the beginning of the video. This is the, what size ounce? 24 ounce can. So it's kind of real tall. I had to cut it down. Or if you have plastic containers that are this size, you can use that. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for just a second, and I'll be back. I'm going to insert my little container inside my bunny, add a little Easter grass, and I'll be right back. So I inserted my container into my basket. And if you look, oh my, poor droopy ears. So what we do for this is we're going to take the glue gun and we're just going to go around and we're going to glue behind the ears, and we're just going to dab a little glue where the handles go here, and maybe just a spot of glue in the back. You don't have to glue it all the way around. You can if you want to. This is just help secure, and if you don't want to use hot glue, you can take a yarn needle and try to poke it through this cardboard container and try to just add some stitches to help hold it there. I rather use the glue gun. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that up, and I'll be right back. So our bunny basket is made. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Creative Grandma with this cute little bunny basket. So don't forget, we have limited amount of kits available, so check that out on my website, creativegrandma.net. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I hope you had fun, and happy crocheting.